Hey there. Tonight, our journey takes us back in time to a land of sun-drenched hills, sparkling blue waters, and vast oak forests. We are traveling to the coast of what is now California, to a time long before the Spanish missions, before the gold rush, and before the cities. We are going to live for a while within a Native American clan that thrived in this apparent paradise for thousands of years. We will leave behind the common images of Native American life on the continent. There are no great buffalo herds here, no vast fields of corn. Instead, we find a world sustained by two great providers, the oak tree and the ocean. We are stepping into the world of the Chumash people, a civilization that was dense, complex, and wealthy, with a culture as rich and as deep as the Pacific itself. This is a story about what it meant to live in a world of profound abundance, a world where the sea and the land provided so much that agriculture was not a necessity. It's a story of ingenious technology, like the magnificent plank canoe called the tomol. It's a story of a complex economy based on money made from tiny shells. And it is a story of a deep spiritual connection to the sun, the sea, and the sacred rhythm of the seasons. If this kind of slow, detailed, and immersive history helps you to quiet your mind and find a measure of rest, I would be grateful if you'd like the video and subscribe to the channel, but only if you genuinely find some peace in these stories. And as always, I love to see our global community gathering. Please feel free to leave a comment with your location and what time it is for you. There is a unique comfort in knowing we are all settling into the same story together. So, dim your lights. Turn on a fan for that soft, ambient hum if you find it soothing. Get comfortable, and let's travel to a California that existed long before its name, to the land of the sun, the sea, and the sacred acorn. Part 1. The time of renewal, spring. You awaken to a sound that has been the first and last sound of every day of your life. It is the sound of the sea. A gentle, rhythmic, and constant shushing sound as the waves of the Pacific Ocean meet the sandy shore of your homeland. It is the breath of the world. The light inside your home is soft and diffused. You live in an app, a beautiful dome-shaped house made of a sturdy framework of willow poles, bent and tied together, and covered with thick, expertly woven mats of tulle reeds. The house is a perfect hemisphere, a reflection of the sky above. It is surprisingly spacious, warm in the winter, and cool in the summer. The floor is the clean, sandy earth, covered with more woven mats. You are lying on a raised, sleeping platform, on a soft mattress of compressed seaweed, under a blanket woven from the skins of sea otters. The air in the app smells of the sea, of wood smoke from the central hearth, and of the faint, pleasant, grassy scent of the tulle reeds. You are surrounded by your family, your parents, your siblings, perhaps an aunt or an uncle. The houses are large enough for an entire extended family to live together in a comfortable, intimate proximity. You can hear the soft breathing of your sleeping relatives, the quiet crackle of the embers in the fire pit. The winter has been a time of rest, of rain, of storytelling. The great winter storms have lashed the coast, and your people have spent the long, wet nights inside, repairing tools, weaving baskets, and retelling the sacred stories of your ancestors. But now, the world is changing. You can feel it in the quality of the light that filters through the small smoke hole at the apex of your home. It is brighter, warmer. You can feel it in the air. The heavy, damp chill of winter is giving way to a gentle, life-giving warmth. You rise from your bed and step outside. The world is bathed in the soft, golden light of a spring morning. The sky is a brilliant, cloudless blue. The sea is calm, its surface glittering like a field of a million tiny diamonds. The coastal hills, which were brown and dormant, are now covered in a vibrant green carpet of new grass and a riot of wildflowers, the bright orange of the poppy, the deep blue of the lupine. The village is coming to life. Your village is not a temporary camp. It is a large, permanent town, situated on a high bluff overlooking the ocean. It can be home to 1,000 people or more. The domed tulle houses are arranged in neat rows. In the center of the village is a large open plaza used for ceremonies and for games. You can hear the sounds of the morning, the laughter of children playing on the beach, the barking of the village dogs, the rhythmic thump-thump of women pounding acorns in stone mortars, the murmur of conversations as people gather to plan the day's work. The spring is a time of renewal, of reawakening. The lean months of winter, when you lived on your stored supplies of acorn and dried fish, are over. The world is once again offering its bounty. The sea, the land, the sky, they are all waking up, and you are waking up with them. It is time to leave the inward-looking world of the winter home and turn your faces once again to the great, generous, and powerful world outside. The first great harvest of the spring does not come from the fields or the forest. It comes from the place where the land meets the sea. It comes from the tide pools. The rhythm of your life is governed not just by the sun and the seasons, but by the moon and the tides. And in the spring, the lowest tides of the year expose a vast hidden world, a watery garden teeming with life. When the word goes out that the tide is at its lowest, the women and children of the village will head down to the rocky shore. This is not a casual beachcombing trip. It is a serious, skilled, and essential food-gathering expedition. You walk with your mother and your sisters. You each carry a large, finely woven collecting basket on your back, held in place by a strap across your forehead. You also carry a small, sharp, and strong tool, a pry bar made from a piece of whalebone or a sea lion rib, used for dislodging shellfish from the rocks. The intertidal zone is a landscape of incredible beauty and abundance. The rocks are covered in a slick, green blanket of seaweed. The pools of water left behind by the receding tide are like miniature aquariums, filled with small fish, scuttling crabs, and colorful sea anemones. Your mother is an expert. She has been gathering food from these tide pools her entire life. She knows the secrets of this place. She knows which kinds of seaweed are edible, which kinds of shellfish are the sweetest, which pools are home to the most abalone. She teaches you as you go. You are gathering mussels. They cling to the rocks in great, dense, blue-black colonies. You use your bone pry bar to pop them off the rock, their strong, thread-like beards resisting. You fill your basket with them. You are looking for abalone, the great prize of the tide pools. Their beautiful iridescent shells are prized for making jewelry and fish hooks, and their large muscular foot is a delicious and substantial meal. They cling to the underside of rocks with incredible suction. It takes great strength and a quick, skillful twist of your pry bar to dislodge them. You gather sea urchins, their spiny shells protecting a small, sweet and highly prized morsel of roe. You gather limpets, chitons, and a dozen other kinds of shellfish. You also gather the plants of the sea. You collect different kinds of seaweed. The long, flat fronds of kelp will be dried and used to make strong, flexible cordage. Other, more tender seaweeds will be eaten fresh, a salty, nutritious green vegetable. The work is wet, cold, and slippery. You are constantly in danger of slipping on the slick rocks, of being cut by a sharp shell, of being caught by an incoming wave. But it is also joyful work. You are a part of a great, communal effort, a team of women and children working together to gather the bounty of the sea. After a few hours, the tide begins to turn. The ocean begins to reclaim its territory. You gather your heavy baskets and make your way back up the beach to the village. That evening, there is a feast. The mussels and the clams are steamed open over a hot fire. The abalone is pounded tender and roasted. It is the first great, fresh feast of the new year. The gifts of the tide are a vital part of your diet. They provide you with protein, with minerals, with the taste of the ocean itself. But they are more than just food. They are a reminder of your relationship with the world. You are a people who live at the edge of two great kingdoms, the land and the sea, and your survival depends on your ability to understand, to respect, and to gratefully receive the gifts of both. If the cedar tree is the foundation of life for the peoples of the northwest coast, then for you, the Chumash, and the other peoples of coastal California, the humble tule reed is the thread that holds your world together. You are a people of the basket. And the art of basketry is the highest and most important art form in your culture, an art performed with breathtaking skill, patience, and artistry exclusively by the women. A basket is not just a container. It is your cooking pot, your water bottle, your storage chest, your baby's cradle, your hat. It is an object of profound utility and often of sublime beauty. The process of making a basket begins with the gathering of the materials. The women of your clan have an encyclopedic knowledge of the plant world. They know which plants provide the strongest, most flexible fibers. They will travel to the marshes to gather the long, slender stalks of the tule reed. They will go to the hills to gather the shoots of the sumac, the juncus rush, the deer grass. Each plant must be gathered at the correct time of the year, when its fibers are at their peak of strength and pliability. The gathering is done with respect, with prayers offered to the plant spirits. Once the materials are gathered, they must be prepared. This is a long and laborious process. The reeds and shoots must be split, scraped, and sized until they are uniform, flexible threads. Some of the materials will be dyed, using natural pigments made from roots, berries, and minerals to create the colors for the intricate designs. And then, the weaving begins. You do not use a loom. You use only your hands, your teeth, and a small, sharp bone awl. The primary technique is coiling. The foundation of the basket is a bundle of grass, stems, or tule reeds. The weaver will take a single, fine strand of a different material, the weft, and she will wrap it around the foundation coil, stitching it to the coil below with her bone awl. It is a slow, meticulous, and incredibly precise process. The weaver will add thousands of stitches to a single basket. Her stitches are so fine, so even, that the finished product looks as if it were made by a machine. The designs are not just decorative, they are a symbolic language. The weaver will create intricate geometric patterns, zigzags, diamonds, spirals, terraced lines. These patterns represent things from the natural and the spiritual world: the lightning, the coils of a rattlesnake, the journey of a spirit. A basket is a story, a prayer, a map of the cosmos. Perhaps the most astonishing achievement of the Chumash basket maker is the water bottle. This is a basket that is woven so tightly, the stitches so close together, that it is completely watertight. It is a masterpiece of technical skill, a vessel that is both lightweight and incredibly durable. You can boil water in this basket by dropping hot stones into it. The creation of a large, finely made basket can take months, even a year. It is a work of intense concentration, of quiet meditation. A woman's skill as a basket maker is a source of great pride and prestige. A truly great weaver is a famous and respected artist, her work sought after and traded over long distances. You, as a young girl, will learn to weave at your mother's side. She will teach you how to gather the plants, how to prepare the fibers, how to make the first, simple stitches. You will start by making small, clumsy baskets. Your stitches will be uneven. Your designs will be simple. But you will learn. You will practice for years, until the knowledge is no longer in your head, but in your hands. The art of basketry is more than just a craft. It is a way of life. It is a way of transforming the raw, humble materials of the earth, the grasses, the reeds, the roots into objects of both profound utility and breathtaking beauty. It is a way of weaving your world together, one patient, perfect stitch at a time. Your world is blessed with a unique and incredibly valuable resource, a substance that is both mysterious and profoundly useful. It is a thick, black, sticky substance that seeps from the earth in certain places along the coast. It is what the Spanish would later call brie. It is natural asphalt, or tar. To your people, this tar is a gift from the earth. It is a kind of terrestrial blood, a magical substance with 1,000 different uses. The gathering of the tar is a specialized task. You will go to the natural asphalt seeps, the places where the tar bubbles up from the ground. It is a strange and slightly menacing landscape, a place of sticky, black pools that smell of sulfur. You gather the raw, semi-solid tar, It is mixed with sand and pebbles. You will take it back to the village and heat it over a fire. The heat melts the asphalt, allowing the impurities to be removed. The result is a pure, black, and incredibly sticky liquid. This tar is the glue that holds your world together. Its most important use is in the waterproofing of your magnificent baskets. You will take a finely woven basket, one that is already very tight, and you will coat the inside with a thin layer of hot, liquid tar. The tar seeps into the fibers of the basket, sealing every microscopic hole. When it cools, it creates a waterproof lining that is both durable and flexible. This is how you create your water bottles, your cooking baskets. It is a technology that allows you to carry and to boil water in a container made of grass. The tar is also an essential part of your toolkit. You use it as an adhesive. You use it to attach your stone or bone arrowheads to their wooden shafts. You use it to affix the shell inlays that decorate your ceremonial objects. You use it to repair broken pottery. It is your superglue, your epoxy, a powerful and reliable binder. It is also a medicine. You use it as a salve for cuts and sores, its antiseptic properties helping to prevent infection. You chew it like a gum to relieve toothaches. But the most spectacular and most important use of tar is in the construction of your most advanced piece of technology, the plank canoe, the tommel. Unlike the dugout canoes of your northern neighbors, which are carved from a single log, your tommel is a complex and sophisticated vessel made from many individual cedar planks. These planks are meticulously shaped and then sewn together with cordage made from plant fibers. But how do you make a boat made of many different pieces of wood waterproof? The answer is tar. The canoe builder will use a mixture of hot liquid tar and pine pitch to caulk every single seam between the planks. It is a slow, painstaking process. The tar is applied, then smoothed, then allowed to cool and harden, creating a strong, flexible, and completely waterproof seal. The tommel is a testament to your people's ingenuity, and it is a vessel that would be completely impossible to build without the miraculous black blood of the earth. Your relationship with tar is a practical one, but it is also a spiritual one. The places where the tar seeps from the ground are seen as sacred, as portals to the underworld. They are places of power, of mystery. As you work with the sticky, black and pungent material, you are not just using a resource. You are interacting with one of the fundamental magical substances of your world. It is a gift from the deep earth, a substance that allows you to create your most beautiful art, your most useful tools, and your most magnificent vessel. It is the dark, strong, and essential glue that binds your civilization together. Part 2. The time of sun and sea. Summer. The summer is the season of the sea. The great winter storms are a distant memory. The ocean is now a vast, blue, and relatively calm highway, a world of opportunity and of abundance. And your key to this world is your magnificent canoe, the tommel. The tommel is not just a boat. It is the single most sophisticated piece of technology in your culture. It is a symbol of wealth, of prestige, of power. Only the wealthiest and most powerful families can afford to build and to own a tommel. Your village might have a small fleet of them, and they are the foundation of your economy and your influence. The canoe is a thing of astonishing beauty and grace. It can be up to 30 feet long, with a high, elegant prow and stern. It is incredibly lightweight for its size, and it is fast and exceptionally seaworthy. It is capable of making the long, often dangerous, open ocean crossing to the Channel Islands, which are a vital part of your people's world. The construction of a tommel is a sacred and specialized craft, performed by a hereditary guild of canoe makers. The knowledge of how to build one is a closely guarded secret, passed down from father to son. The canoe is made from redwood or pine planks, which are acquired through trade from peoples to the north. Each plank is carefully split and shaped with an adze. The edges of the planks are beveled, so they will fit together perfectly. The planks are then drilled with small holes, using a sharp, rotating drill made of bone. They are then literally sewn together using strong cordage made from the fibers of the milkweed or dogbane plant. The real genius of the tommel is the waterproofing. Every seam, every stitch hole is meticulously caulked with a mixture of hot tar and pine pitch. This creates a seal that is both completely waterproof and flexible, allowing the canoe to move and to flex with the motion of the waves. The finished canoe is often decorated with inlaid shells, and its prow is sometimes painted with a pair of eyes, giving the vessel its own spirit, its own life. To be a member of a tommel crew is a position of great honor. The crew is a team of skilled, strong, and experienced paddlers. They work together with a practiced, rhythmic grace, their paddles dipping into the water in perfect synchrony. The tommel allows you to harvest the riches of the deep ocean, resources that are unavailable to those who are confined to the shore. You can hunt for sea mammals, the seals, the sea lions, the dolphins. You can fish for the great schools of tuna and swordfish that live in the open ocean. And most importantly, the tommel is your link to the Channel Islands. These islands, which you can see on the horizon from your coastal village, are an essential part of your world. They are a source of valuable resources, such as the chert used for making tools and the olivella shells that are the raw material for your shell bead money. The islands are also home to other Chumash villages, and the tommel is the bridge that connects you, allowing for trade, for marriage, for the exchange of news and ideas. The tommel is more than just a boat. It is a symbol of your people's mastery of their environment. It is a testament to your ingenuity, your artistry, and your courage. It is the tool that allows you to embrace the great, powerful, and generous world of the ocean. To be in a tommel, riding the long, gentle swells of the Pacific, the sun on your back and the salty spray on your face, is to feel a sense of freedom, of power, of a deep and profound connection to the sea. It is to feel truly at home in your world. The night is still dark when the call goes out. The sea is calm. The sky is clear. It is a good day for fishing. You and the other men of your canoe crew gather on the beach. You are a team of 5 or 6 men, led by the captain of the tommel, an experienced and respected navigator and hunter. You perform a short, quiet ceremony before you launch. You offer a prayer to the spirit of the canoe, to the spirits of the sea. You ask for a safe journey and a successful hunt. You launch the tommel into the gentle surf. The boat is surprisingly light. You glide out onto the dark, placid water, your paddle strokes silent and efficient. You are heading out into the Santa Barbara Channel, the deep, wide strait of water that separates your home from the Channel Islands. Your destination is a kelp forest, a few miles offshore, a place known to be rich with the large fish you are seeking today. As you paddle, the sun begins to rise behind you, casting a golden and rosy light on the mountains of the coast. The sea around you comes alive with the morning light. A pod of dolphins surfaces near your canoe, their sleek, grey bodies arching gracefully through the water. A flock of pelicans glides low over the waves. The air is cool, clean, and salty. You reach the kelp forest. It is an otherworldly place, a great underwater jungle of towering golden-brown kelp. The water here is deep and clear. You can see the fish moving below you in the shadowy depths. The hunt begins. You are not fishing with a simple hook and line. You are hunting. Your primary weapon is the harpoon. It has a long wooden shaft and a barbed point made of bone or shell. The point is detachable and is connected to the shaft by a long, strong cord. You stand in the prow of the canoe, your body balanced, your eyes scanning the water. You are looking for the dark, torpedo-like shape of a large tuna or a swordfish. And then you see one, a large swordfish, its long, sharp bill cutting through the water. The canoe captain skillfully and silently maneuvers the tommel closer. You raise your harpoon. You wait for the perfect moment. And then you throw. The harpoon flies from your hand with a powerful, practiced motion. It strikes the great fish in the side. The barbed point sets itself in the flesh. The fish explodes into a panic, diving deep, the cord pulling taut. The fight is on. The swordfish is an incredibly powerful creature. It will tow your canoe through the water at a surprising speed. You and the other men work as a team. You play the fish, letting it run, then slowly, painstakingly, hauling it in. It is a battle of strength, of skill, of endurance. It can last for an hour or more. Finally, the great fish is exhausted. You pull it alongside the canoe. It is a magnificent creature, its skin a beautiful, iridescent silver and blue. You dispatch it with a quick, respectful blow from a club. You have made a successful kill. You will feast tonight. You might also fish with nets, woven from strong plant fibers and weighted with stones. You will set the nets in the kelp forest and then use your paddles to frighten the fish into them. The day on the water is a long one. You are exposed to the sun, the wind, the sea. You are constantly in motion, paddling, balancing, hunting. And there are dangers. The weather can change with frightening speed. A sudden fog can roll in, leaving you lost and disoriented. A strong wind can whip the calm sea into a choppy, dangerous fury, threatening to swamp your canoe. And there are the great predators of the sea, the sharks. You see their dark, triangular fins cutting through the water. They are usually not a threat to your large canoe, but you treat them with a healthy and profound respect. You know that if you were to fall into the water, your life would be measured in seconds. As the sun begins to set, you turn your canoe back towards the shore. Your boat is heavy with your catch. You are tired, your muscles aching, your skin caked with salt, but you are filled with a deep sense of accomplishment. You have gone out onto the great, mysterious, and dangerous world of the ocean, and you have returned with its bounty. You have proven your skill, your courage, your manhood. You have provided for your family, for your people. And as you paddle home, the setting sun turning the sea to a sheet of liquid gold, you feel a deep and abiding peace. You are a man of the sea, and you are at home. The great Tamil canoe is a symbol of your people's wealth, but the actual currency, the substance that drives your economy and defines your status, is much smaller. It is a tiny, beautiful, and incredibly valuable object, painstakingly crafted from the shell of a small sea snail. It is shell bead money, what your people call ankum. Your people are unique. You have developed one of the most sophisticated economies in ancient North America, a true market economy with standardized currency, professional merchants, and complex systems of debt and credit. And it is all built on these tiny, polished discs of shell. The source of this wealth is the Olivella snail, a small creature with a beautiful swirling shell. These shells are gathered in great quantities, but their transformation into money is a long, arduous, and incredibly skilled process. The work is done by specialists, men who have dedicated their lives to the craft of bead making. They will first break the shell, saving the thickest part. Then, using a small, sharp piece of flint, they will chip the shell fragment into a rough, circular shape. The next step is the most difficult and technologically impressive part of the process: drilling the hole. They use a long, slender, and very sharp drill, often made from a sliver of chert, a type of stone. This drill is spun rapidly, using a bow or a hand-cranked device. It requires immense skill and patience to drill a hole through the brittle shell without shattering it. The number of beads that are broken during this process is immense. Once the rough bead is drilled, it is strung onto a long cord of milkweed fiber, along with hundreds of other beads. This long string of rough, unfinished beads is then painstakingly rolled and ground against a slab of sandstone. This process, which can take many hours, grinds the edges of the beads down, making them perfectly uniform in size and shape, and giving them a beautiful, smooth, polished finish. The result is a string of beautiful white disc-shaped beads, each one almost identical to the next. This is not just a piece of jewelry, this is money. The value of the bead money is standardized. A certain number of beads on a string has a specific, recognized value. This currency is used in every economic transaction. You do not just barter for goods, you buy them. The price of a basket, of a rabbit skin blanket, of a pot of acorn mush, is all calculated in strings of shell bead money. You can use this money to buy food, to pay for services, to settle disputes. A man might pay a shaman for a healing ceremony with shell beads. A chief might pay for the construction of a new canoe. And the beads are a measure of your wealth and your status. A high-ranking chief might have great strings of beads, thousands of them, which he will display during ceremonies. He will use his wealth to pay his debts, to support his community, and to engage in the great, complex game of regional politics and trade. The shell bead money of your people is a true currency. It is portable, it is durable, it is standardized, and its value is recognized over a vast territory, from the coast to the deep interior. It is the engine that drives a thriving and complex economy. As you hold a string of these smooth, cool, and beautifully crafted beads in your hand, you are holding more than just a decorative object. You are holding a physical manifestation of your people's ingenuity, their artistry, their economic sophistication. You are holding the money of the sea, the small, powerful, and sacred currency that is the foundation of your world. Your life is tied to the sea, but your world is much larger than the coast. You are part of a great, sprawling network of trade that connects your coastal village to the peoples of the interior valleys, the deserts, and the high mountains. The Tomel canoe allows you to travel up and down the coast, but for inland trade, you must walk. In the late summer, after the fishing season has waned but before the great acorn harvest has begun, your village might send out a trading party. You, as a young man, are chosen to go. It is a great honor, a chance to see the world beyond your home, and a serious responsibility. You are part of a group of a dozen men, led by an experienced trader. You are not traveling empty-handed. You are carrying the wealth of the coast on your backs. You have strings of shell bead money. You have cakes of salt, gathered from the coastal salt marshes. You have bundles of dried fish and shellfish. You have sharp, durable tools made from whalebone. And you have precious, sharp-edged blades made of chert, a type of stone found on the Channel Islands. The journey is a long and difficult one. You leave the cool, damp air of the coast behind and you begin to walk east, into the dry, hot interior. The landscape changes dramatically. The lush coastal vegetation gives way to the chaparral of the hills, a dense, thorny scrub of sagebrush and manzanita. The trail is steep and rocky. You travel for days. You sleep under the stars, your rifle at your side. You are moving through a world that is not your own. You are vigilant, watchful. You are in the territory of other peoples, and while your mission is one of peaceful trade, you must always be prepared for the possibility of conflict. Finally, you arrive at your destination, a large village in a hot, dry inland valley. The people here are different from you. They speak a different, though related language. Their customs are different. They are a people of the land, not the sea. You are greeted with a formal ceremony. Your leader meets with the chief of the village. Gifts are exchanged, speeches are made. And then the trading begins. The people of this village have things that you do not, things that are precious to you. They have the hides of deer and antelope from the mountains. They have obsidian, a black, volcanic glass that has been traded from a source hundreds of miles to the east. Obsidian can be chipped to an edge that is sharper than any other material, and it is highly prized for making ceremonial blades and arrowheads. They have nuts, seeds, and other plant foods that do not grow on the coast. The trading is a long, slow, and enjoyable process of negotiation. You use your shell bead money as the primary medium of exchange. You haggle over the price of an obsidian blade, of a well-tanned deer hide. The trading is also an exchange of news, of stories, of ideas. You learn about the events of the inland world. They learn about the events of the coast. Marriages might be arranged, alliances forged. After a few days, the trading is complete. You have exchanged your coastal goods for the treasures of the interior. You pack your new acquisitions and you begin the long journey home. You return to your village, your back heavy with your new wealth. You have been on a great adventure. You have seen a different world. You have acted as an ambassador for your people. This journey is a vital part of your economy and your culture. It is the thread that stitches your world together. It is a reminder that your people, for all their mastery of the sea, are also a part of a much larger human landscape. The shell that was gathered on your beach might end up as a piece of jewelry in a village 100 miles inland. The obsidian blade that was quarried in a distant desert volcano might be used in a ceremony in your own village. You are a coastal people, but your world is as wide and as interconnected as the trade routes that you travel. Part 3. The time of gathering. Autumn. The hot, dry days of summer are over. The air is beginning to cool. The hills, which were a parched golden brown, are now dotted with the dark, heavy green of the oak trees. And the oak trees are laden with their great gift. It is the time of the acorn harvest. While the salmon is the great protein source of your world, the acorn is your bread, your staff of life. It is the primary plant food of your people, the great, reliable source of the carbohydrates and the fat that will sustain you through the winter. The acorn harvest is the most important and most labor-intensive event of your agricultural year, even though you are not farmers. When the acorns begin to fall, the entire village will move. You will leave your coastal home and travel inland to the great oak groves that are the property of your clan. Each family has its own specific section of the grove, a right that has been passed down through generations. The harvest camp is a scene of joyful and industrious activity. Temporary shelters are built. The entire community is here, from the youngest child to the oldest elder. The work of gathering the acorns is done primarily by the women and children. They will spread large, woven mats on the ground under the oak trees. The men will then climb the trees and shake the branches, or they will use long poles to knock the acorns down. The acorns rain down, a hard, rattling shower on the mats below. The women and children then gather them into huge, finely woven collecting baskets. The baskets are so large that a woman will carry one on her back, held by a strap across her forehead, while she fills another. The work goes on for weeks. You will gather thousands of pounds of acorns. The bounty seems almost limitless. You are literally gathering your sustenance from the forest floor. But not all acorns are the same. Your people have a deep botanical knowledge of the different kinds of oak trees. You know that the acorns from the black oak are the most prized, for their size and their rich, fatty meat. You know that the acorns from the coast, live oak, are smaller, but more reliable. You know exactly when each type of acorn is at its peak of ripeness. The acorn harvest is a time of great abundance, a time of feasting. In the evenings, you will roast some of the fresh acorns in the hot coals of the fire. They have a rich, nutty, and slightly sweet flavor. But most of the harvest must be processed and stored for the winter. And this is where the real work begins. The acorn, in its natural state, is not edible. It is full of bitter, toxic tannic acid. It must be transformed through a long, laborious, and ingenious process, from a poison into a food. As you look at the great piles of acorns, at the baskets overflowing with the small, brown, and unassuming nuts, you feel a deep sense of gratitude. You are not a farmer who must break the earth and pray for rain. The oak trees are your farm. They are ancient, reliable providers. They are a gift from the earth, a gift that asks for nothing in return but your respect and your hard work. The acorn is the true, life-sustaining heart of your Californian world. You have gathered a mountain of acorns. Your baskets are overflowing. But this bounty is also a poison. The raw acorn is inedible, filled with a bitter, astringent substance called tannic acid that can make you sick. The great work of the autumn, a task that will consume weeks of labor, is the transformation of this poison into a nourishing food. This is the art and science of leaching. The work is performed entirely by the women, and it is a multi-stage, highly skilled process. The first step is shelling. The hard outer shell of each acorn must be cracked and removed. The women will sit for hours, a flat stone for an anvil and a smaller stone for a hammer, cracking thousands of acorns one by one. The small nut meats are collected. The second step is grinding. The acorn meats must be ground into a fine flour. This is done in a stone mortar, a large, bowl-shaped depression in a rock outcrop or a large, portable stone bowl. Using a heavy stone pestle, the women will pound the acorn meats over and over again until they are reduced to a fine, pinkish-brown powder. The rhythmic, percussive sound of the stone pestles striking the mortars is a constant, musical sound in the autumn camp. It is the sound of food being made. Now comes the most critical and ingenious part of the process, the leaching. The bitter tannic acid must be washed out of the flour. The women will go to a sandy place near a stream. They will dig a shallow, basin-like depression in the sand. They will carefully line this basin with leaves or a piece of woven basketry. They will pour the acorn flour into this sandy basin, and then they will begin to wash it. They will bring water from the stream in watertight baskets. They will pour the water gently and slowly over the flour. The water percolates down through the flour and into the sand below, carrying the soluble tannic acid with it. This process is repeated over and over again. The women will pour dozens of baskets of water over the flour. They are literally washing the poison out of the food. How do they know when the flour is ready? They do not have a chemical test. They have a tool that is far more sensitive, their own tongue. Periodically, they will taste a small amount of the wet flour. At first, it is incredibly bitter, an unpleasant, mouth-puckering sensation. They continue to wash it. They taste it again. The bitterness is lessening. After hours of this slow, patient washing, they taste it one final time. The bitterness is gone. The flour has a mild, nutty, and slightly sweet flavor. It is ready. The wet acorn meal is then carefully scooped out of the leaching basin and placed on a flat rock to dry in the sun. This process is a work of incredible, patient genius. It is a form of folk chemistry, a process that was developed and perfected over thousands of years. It is the key that unlocks the vast caloric wealth of the oak forests. As you watch the women working by the stream, their movements practiced and efficient, you are witnessing a miracle of transformation. They are taking a poisonous nut and, with nothing more than stone, water, sand, and their own deep, traditional knowledge, they are turning it into the bread of life, the food that will sustain your people through the long winter. It is a quiet, humble, and profoundly sacred act of creation. The acorn flour, now leached of its bitterness and dried in the sun, is ready to be cooked. It is the staple food of your people, your bread, your porridge, your sustenance. And the method of cooking it is another testament to the ingenuity of your culture, a process that allows you to boil water and cook a meal without a metal pot, using only a basket, a few stones, and the fire. The primary dish made from acorn flour is a thick, nutritious porridge, or mush, which you call wiwish. The cooking is done in a special basket. It is a large, finely woven, and completely watertight basket. The women will mix the acorn flour with water in this basket, creating a thick, soupy slurry. Now, how do you cook this slurry in a flammable basket? You cannot place the basket on the fire, so you bring the fire to the basket. Nearby, a fire is burning. In the fire are a number of smooth, fist-sized stones. They are being heated until they are glowing red-hot. Using a pair of long wooden tongs, a woman will pluck one of these searingly hot stones from the fire. She will quickly dip it in a basket of water to rinse off the ash, and then, with a deft and practiced motion, she will drop it directly into the basket of acorn slurry. The effect is immediate and dramatic. The slurry around the hot stone erupts in a violent, bubbling hiss. The woman must immediately begin to stir the mixture with a wooden paddle, constantly moving the hot stone so that it does not burn through the bottom of the basket. She will use the paddle to roll the hot stone around, distributing its heat throughout the slurry. As the stone begins to cool, she will use her tongs to lift it out, and she will immediately drop another red-hot stone in. This process is repeated over and over again. Hot stone in, stir, 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 cool stone out. Hot stone in, stir, 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 cool stone out. It is a rhythmic and skillful dance. It requires great concentration and a steady hand. A moment of inattention, and the hot stone could burn a hole in the precious, laboriously made basket. Slowly, the acorn slurry begins to thicken and to cook. Within 20 to 30 minutes, it has been transformed into a thick, smooth, and steaming hot porridge. The weewish is ready. It has a mild, nutty flavor and a gelatinous, slightly sticky texture. It is not a food of intense or exciting flavors. It is a food of profound, comforting substance. It is incredibly nutritious, rich in complex carbohydrates and fats. It is the food that has sustained your people for millennia. You eat the weewish from a small bowl, often using a folded leaf or a piece of shell as a spoon. It is the centerpiece of your meal. It might be eaten plain, or it might be flavored with a handful of dried berries, a sprinkle of salt, or a piece of dried fish. The acorn flour can also be used to make a kind of bread. The thick porridge is spread out on a hot, flat stone near the fire and baked until it is a dense, unleavened cake. As you eat your simple, nourishing meal of acorn mush, you are consuming more than just food. You are consuming the forest. You are consuming the rain. You are consuming the hard labor of your entire community. You are consuming the ancient, ingenious knowledge of your ancestors. The bread of life, for you, does not come from a field of wheat. It comes from the great, generous oak trees, and it is made possible by the quiet, patient, and remarkable genius of your people. It is a meal that connects you, in the most direct and intimate way, to the world around you. The acorn is the backbone of your life, the food that sustains the community. But your people are hunters as well as gatherers. The autumn, after the great acorn harvest is complete and before the winter rains begin, is the primary season for hunting the large game of the hills and mountains. The hunt is not a great, thundering, communal affair like the buffalo hunt of the plains people. It is a quiet, stealthy, and often solitary pursuit. The primary prey is the mule deer, a creature of incredible grace, sharp senses, and profound elusiveness. The hunt is undertaken by the men. It is a test of skill, of patience, of endurance, and of a deep, almost mystical, knowledge of the land and the animal. A successful hunter is a man of great prestige. The hunt begins with preparation and prayer. You do not simply walk into the hills and hope to find a deer. You prepare your body and your spirit. You might fast for a day, or purify yourself in the village sweat house. You offer a prayer to the spirit of the deer, asking for its permission, for its gift of life. Your weapon is the bow and arrow. Your bow is a beautiful and powerful tool, often made from the wood of the yew tree, backed with sinew to give it extra strength and spring. Your arrows are fletched with the feathers of the hawk or the eagle, for true flight, and tipped with a razor-sharp point of obsidian or chert. You are a master of stealth. You paint your face and body with charcoal and earth pigments, not for war, but for camouflage. You might wear a deerskin cloak, or even a deer head disguise, allowing you to move through the landscape like a shadow, like one of the animals themselves. You travel into the high, chaparral-covered hills. You move with an absolute silence, your moccasin-clad feet making no sound on the dry leaves and stones. You are constantly watching, listening, smelling. You are reading the subtle language of the wilderness. You see a broken twig, a set of fresh tracks in the dust, a patch of browsed vegetation. You are piecing together the story of the deer's movement. You might spend days on the trail, sleeping under the stars, eating a simple meal of dried acorn bread. You are becoming a part of the wilderness, your senses sharpened, your mind focused on a single purpose. When you finally spot your prey, a large buck grazing peacefully in a clearing, your heart begins to pound, but your body remains perfectly still. You are downwind. You are hidden. You wait. You wait for the perfect moment, the perfect shot. You nock your arrow. You draw the bowstring back to your ear, the muscles in your back and shoulders bunching. You take a slow, deep breath. You aim not with your eyes alone, but with your entire being. You release. The arrow flies, a silent messenger of death. It strikes the deer behind the shoulder. The animal leaps, its great antlers thrashing, and then it is gone, crashing into the thick brush. You do not celebrate. You wait. You offer another quiet prayer of thanks, and then you begin the difficult work of tracking the wounded animal. You follow the drops of blood on the leaves, the trail of its final, desperate flight. When you find it, you approach it with reverence. You thank its spirit for its sacrifice. And then the hard work of butchering begins. You use your sharp stone knives to skin the animal and to cut the meat into manageable pieces. Nothing is wasted. The hide will be tanned, the sinew used for thread, the antlers and bones used for tools. You carry the heavy meat back to your village, a journey of many hours. Your return is a quiet triumph. The meat will be shared among your family, your kin, according to the ancient rules of your society. While the deer hunt is a prestigious and important event, much of your animal protein comes from the constant, less glamorous, and often communal trapping of smaller game. The men and boys of the village will set long nets in the canyons to catch rabbits. They will set snares for quail and other birds. This provides a steady, reliable source of fresh meat. The hunt is more than just a way of getting food. It is a reaffirmation of your connection to the wild, a test of your skills, a spiritual journey into the heart of the landscape. It is a quiet, and often lonely, prayer of blood and breath. Part 4. The time of stories. Winter. The world has grown dark and cold. The sun is a weak, distant presence, a pale disk that skims low across the southern horizon for only a few short hours each day. The nights are long and deep. It is a time of fear, a time when it seems that the light and the warmth might be lost forever. This is the time of the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, and it is the time of your people's most important and powerful ceremony. The winter solstice ceremony is not just a celebration. It is a vital, cosmic undertaking. Your people believe that the sun is a living being, and that at this time of year it is old and weak and tired. If you do not act, if you do not perform the correct ceremonies, the sun might continue on its southward journey and disappear completely, plunging the world into an eternal, frozen night. It is the sacred duty of your people to use your collective spiritual power to pull the sun back, to encourage it to turn around and begin its long, slow journey back to the north, bringing with it the light, the warmth, and the life of spring. The timing of this ceremony is critical, and it is determined by a special, secret society of elders, priests, and astronomers, a group known as the Antap. The Antap are the keepers of the sacred celestial knowledge. They have a deep and intimate understanding of the movements of the sun, the moon, and the stars. They have their observatories, their sacred places, a cave with a small, precisely placed hole that allows a single beam of sunlight to strike a special mark on the wall only on the day of the solstice. A great, carefully arranged circle of stones on a high mesa. Using these ancient and ingenious devices, they can predict the exact day of the solstice with astonishing accuracy. When the sun watcher of the Antap announces that the solstice is at hand, the great ceremony begins. It is a multi-day event that involves the entire community. You gather in the village plaza. A great fire is lit, a symbol of the sun's fire that you are trying to rekindle. The air is cold and crisp. Your breath mists before you. The dancers emerge. They are members of the Ontap, their bodies painted with sacred symbols representing the sun, the moon, the stars, the great forces of the cosmos. They dance. Their movements are slow, powerful, and deeply symbolic. They are reenacting the great stories of the creation, of the ordering of the universe. There is singing. The songs are ancient, their words full of a powerful, esoteric meaning. They are prayers, they are incantations, they are words of power designed to influence the celestial beings. The ceremony is also a time of feasting, of giving thanks for the food that has sustained you through the first part of the winter. But it is a solemn feast, imbued with a sense of great purpose and responsibility. The climax of the ceremony comes at dawn on the day of the solstice. The entire village will gather at a special, sacred place facing the eastern horizon. You will stand together in the freezing pre-dawn darkness, a silent praying community. And as the first faint light of dawn appears, the sun watcher will begin to chant. He is speaking to the sun, encouraging it, pleading with it, commanding it to return. You watch the horizon with an intensity that is almost painful, and then you see it. The first brilliant golden flash of the sun appearing at its southernmost rising point, the point that marks the turning of the year. A great, joyous, and relieved cry goes up from the people. The ceremony has been a success. You have done it. You have pulled the sun back. The world is safe. The light will return. The winter solstice ceremony is the most important act of your year. It is a profound expression of your people's worldview. You are not passive victims of the natural world. You are active participants in the great cosmic drama. You have a role to play, a sacred duty to perform. You must help to keep the world in balance. As you walk back to your warm, firelit home, the rising sun at your back, you feel a deep sense of power, of purpose, of a profound connection to the great, orderly, and sacred workings of the universe. The winter is still long and hard, but now there is hope. Every day the sun will be a little stronger, the days a little longer. You have faced the darkness, and you have called back the light. The Winter Village, the app, is the center of your universe. It is not just a collection of houses. It is a living, breathing organism, a complex social and physical space that has been perfected over thousands of years of life on this coast. Your village is a large, permanent town, not a temporary camp. It is situated in a strategic and sheltered location, usually at the mouth of a river or on a high bluff overlooking the sea. The houses, the beautiful, dome-shaped structures of willow and tule, are arranged in neat rows, with pathways running between them. The heart of the village is the central plaza. This is the community's living room. It is where ceremonies are held, where games are played, where people gather to socialize and to work. At one end of the plaza, there is often a large, semi-subterranean structure. This is the apayik, the sweat house. It is the domain of the men. It is a place for ritual purification, for socializing, for political discussion. The men will gather here daily, building a great fire, sweating in the intense heat, and then running out to plunge into the cold waters of the sea or a nearby stream. It is a place of physical and spiritual cleansing, a place where the bonds of brotherhood are forged. There are other specialized structures in the village. There might be a special house set apart from the others, where the women of the village go during their menstrual periods. This is not a place of shame, but a sacred and powerful place, a place where the women can rest and be together, away from the men. There is a gaming field where the young men play the hoop and pole game, a game of skill and chance that involves throwing spears at a rolling hoop. There is a cemetery located a respectful distance from the village, where your ancestors are buried. Life in the village is communal and intensely social. You are rarely alone. You are always surrounded by the sights, the sounds, and the smells of your community. The day is not governed by the clock, but by a natural, organic rhythm. You wake with the sun. You eat when you are hungry. You work when there is work to be done. You rest when you are tired. The children are not confined to a single house or a fenced yard. The entire village is their playground. They run in packs, playing on the beach, in the hills. They are watched over by the entire community. Every adult is a parent, a teacher, a guardian. The evenings are a time for socializing. Families will visit each other in their homes. You will sit around the fire, sharing food, telling stories, gossiping. The longhouse is a hub of quiet, domestic activity. There is a sense of order, of predictability, of safety in the village. This is your place. You know every house, every family, every pathway. You know your role, your responsibilities, your place in the great web of kinship that holds your society together. But it is not a utopia. There is conflict. There are arguments over property, over insults, over personal rivalries. These disputes are usually settled peacefully through the mediation of the elders or the chief, but sometimes they can lead to violence. And there is always the threat from the outside world. Your village might be raided by an enemy group, seeking to capture slaves or to steal your stored food. You must be vigilant. You must be prepared to defend your home. But for the most part, the winter village is a place of profound security, of deep community, of a shared and vibrant cultural life. It is the warm, beating heart of your world, a sanctuary against the cold of the winter and the dangers of the wilderness. It is the place where you are most truly yourself, a member of your family, your clan, your people. Your world is not just the physical world of the sea, the land, and the village. It is also a vast, complex, and powerful world of myth, of spirit, of unseen forces. This spiritual world is not separate from your daily life. It is completely intertwined with it. Every act, every object, every part of the landscape is imbued with a spiritual significance. Your people believe in a universe that is structured in layers. There is the sky world above, the home of the great, powerful celestial beings. There is the middle world, the one you inhabit. And there is the lower world, a watery realm under the earth. These worlds are not completely separate. They are connected, and it is possible for certain powerful beings and certain gifted humans to travel between them. The great, organizing principle of your cosmos is the story of the first people. In the mythical time before humans existed, the world was inhabited by a race of supernatural beings who had the characteristics of both humans and animals. There was the sky coyote, a powerful creator god, but also a foolish and greedy trickster. There was the sun, the moon, the great eagle, the dolphin, the bear. The stories of the first people are your Bible, your textbook of natural history, your moral compass. They explain how the world was created, how the mountains were formed, how the stars were placed in the sky. They explain the nature of the animals, the plants, the sea, and they explain how your people came to be and how you are meant to live. Your relationship with the spirit world is a practical and a personal one. You have your own personal guardian spirits, spirits that you have acquired through a vision quest or that have been passed down to you through your family. These spirits are your personal protectors, your source of power and of special skills. A man might have a swordfish spirit, which makes him a great fisherman. A woman might have a bear spirit, which gives her great strength and healing power. The most important mediator between your world and the spirit world is the shaman, the Alchuklash. The shaman is a man or a woman who has a special, powerful connection to the supernatural. He or she has the ability to travel to the other worlds, to communicate with the spirits, to cure sickness, and to control the weather. The shaman's power is not always benevolent. A shaman can use his power to heal, but he can also use it to cause harm, to curse an enemy. Shamans are both respected and feared. When someone in your family is sick, you will call upon a shaman. The healing ceremony is a powerful, dramatic, and often frightening event. The shaman will enter a trance state, aided by the rhythmic chanting, the drumming, the rattling, and perhaps the use of sacred, hallucinogenic plants like datura. In his trance, the shaman's soul is believed to leave his body and travel to the spirit world to find the cause of the sickness. The sickness might be caused by a foreign object that has been magically shot into the patient's body, or by the loss of the patient's own soul, which has been stolen by a ghost or a malevolent spirit. The shaman will fight the evil spirits, he will bargain with the gods, he will find the lost soul and return it to the body. He might physically suck the sickness out of the patient's body. The ceremony is a powerful and dramatic performance, a battle waged in the spiritual realm for the life of the patient. Dreams are another important connection to the spirit world. A dream is not just a random product of your sleeping mind. It is a real experience. It is a visit from a spirit, a message from an ancestor, a vision of the future. You will pay close attention to your dreams, and you will ask an elder or a shaman to help you interpret their meaning. Your world is a place that is alive with spiritual power. Every rock, every tree, every animal has a spirit. The world is a great, complex, and sacred conversation. And your survival, your health, your very existence depends on your ability to listen to that conversation, to understand its language, and to live in a way that honors its powerful and often invisible participants. Deep in the rugged, chaparral-covered mountains that rise behind your coastal village, there are secret, sacred places. There are caves, there are rock shelters, hidden away in the remote canyons. And on the walls of these caves, your people have been painting for thousands of years. This is the most mysterious, the most powerful, and the most enduring art form of your culture. A journey to one of these sacred caves is not a casual outing. It is a pilgrimage. It is undertaken only by a few, initiated individuals, usually the shamans, the members of the Antap society. You might, as a young apprentice to a shaman, be privileged enough to make this journey. You will travel for days into the mountains, fasting, praying, preparing your spirit for the encounter with the sacred. The cave is often located in a dramatic and awe-inspiring place, a place with a commanding view of the surrounding landscape, a place that feels like a natural portal between the worlds. You enter the cave. The air is cool and still. The silence is profound. The light is dim. And then you see them. The paintings. The walls and the ceiling of the cave are covered with hundreds of strange, beautiful, and enigmatic images. They are painted in a vibrant palette of red, black, white, and yellow, pigments ground from minerals and mixed with animal fat or plant juice. The images are not realistic depictions of the world. They are abstract, symbolic, and deeply otherworldly. You see great, circular, sun-like discs, with rays emanating from them. You see strange insect-like or reptilian creatures. You see human-like figures with headdresses of feathers or horns. You see complex geometric patterns, checkerboards, zigzags, dots. This is not art for art's sake. This is not decoration. This is a form of spiritual technology. This is a tool for interacting with the supernatural world. The scholars of your own future time will debate the meaning of these paintings endlessly, but you, in your world, understand their purpose. These caves are the places where the shamans come to make their visions, to enter the spirit world. The paintings are a record of those visions. They are a map of the other worlds. The strange, abstract figures are the spirits that the shaman encounters on his soul journey. The geometric patterns might represent the shimmering, phosphorus lights that one sees in a trance state. The act of painting itself is a ritual. The shaman will paint while in a state of trance, his hand guided by the spirits. The paint itself is a sacred substance. The creation of a painting is a way of bringing the power of the spirit world into the physical world. Many of the paintings seem to be related to the cosmos. The great, rayed discs are clearly suns. Other images might represent the moon, the planets, the stars of the Milky Way. Your people are sophisticated astronomers, and these paintings are a part of your cosmological science. They might be a record of a celestial event, like a supernova or a solar eclipse. They might be a form of star chart, a map of the sky world. And some of the art is clearly related to fertility, to the renewal of the world. You see images that seem to represent the rain, the seeds, the growth of plants. You stand in the silent, sacred cave, surrounded by these ancient, powerful images. The firelight flickers on the painted walls, and the figures seem to move, to come alive. You feel a sense of profound awe, of a deep connection to the thousands of years of your people's spiritual history. This cave is a library. It is a church. It is an observatory. It is a portal. It is the place where the thin veil that separates the worlds is torn away, and where your people can come to speak directly with the gods. It is the most sacred and the most powerful place you will ever know. And the images painted on its walls are the deepest and most enduring expression of your people's soul. And so, the great slow and sacred wheel of the year turns. The winter ceremonies give way to the spring harvest of the sea. The summer is a time of ocean voyages and trade. The autumn is a time of gathering the great, life-sustaining gift of the acorn. The life we have shared for this short time is a circle, a rhythm, a dance with the sun, the moon, and the tides. This was a civilization of profound and beautiful contradictions. It was a society that achieved a level of population density, of economic complexity, and of social stratification that was comparable to many of the great agricultural societies of the world, but it did so without ever planting a single crop of corn. It was a civilization built on the spectacular, almost unbelievable, abundance of the California coast, and on the ingenuity and wisdom of the people who learned to live in harmony with it. They were a people of the sea, masters of a sophisticated maritime technology that allowed them to harvest the riches of the deep ocean. They were a people of the land, with an encyclopedic knowledge of the plant and animal worlds. They were a people of the market, with a complex and far-reaching economy built on a currency of tiny, beautiful shells. And they were a people of the spirit, with a rich ceremonial life, a profound cosmology, and a magnificent artistic tradition that painted the secrets of the cosmos on the hidden walls of sacred caves. The world of the Chumash, the world that had existed for 10,000 years, was brought to a sudden and tragic end by the arrival of the Spanish. The missions, the diseases, the violence, the suppression of their culture, it was an apocalypse from which they would never fully recover. But the Chumash people and the other native peoples of California were not extinguished. They endured, they survived, and today they are engaged in a powerful and vibrant renaissance of their culture. They are relearning their languages, they are reviving their ceremonies, they are rebuilding their magnificent tamale canoes, they are teaching their children the ancient art of the basket. Tonight, as you settle into your comfortable bed, a world away from the sun-drenched coast of ancient California, think of the people who lived in the dome-shaped houses of Tula. Think of the patient skill of the woman weaving a watertight basket, of the fisherman paddling his plank canoe out onto the misty, grey sea, of the shaman painting a vision of the sun in a dark, sacred cave. Their world whispers to us of a different way of being human. It speaks of a life of profound connection to place, of a deep and abiding respect for the natural world, of a society that was both complex and sustainable. It is a story that is written not just in the history books, but in the landscape itself, in the great ancient oak trees, in the shell middens on the coast, in the painted caves in the mountains. It is the story of a California that was, and a reminder of the deep and resilient human spirit that remains.